my name is Gerri Songer, and first I want to thank you for braving our March winter madness that we have going on here. I'm currently an educator in Township High School District 214. I am also the education chair, working with both staff and administration in 214 and District 211. My concern, the reason I'm running is because in my own district we have 4 trailer parks that we're serving, and with the current cuts in funding from the state level and the federal level, they depend on the community college as their last avenue of higher education. And I think we need to be good stewards and make sure that we have something to hand back to our kids. I've got a grandson that will be in the Lake County school system. I was a student in the College of Lake County, and I want to maintain that high level of quality education at an affordable tuition for the community. I think it's important to know, to differentiate between roles. As a board member, we have a fiduciary responsibility. It's not our role to be micromanaging what's going on at the faculty and staff level. It's our role to reach out and listen. What I would bring to the Board of Trustees is the deep belief that leadership is a position of service, and that's what I think we need to provide to both the staff, the students, and the community. I want to see that we maintain a college for the community, not the community for the college. Well, I'm currently, as I said, working at a high school with kids all day long. My education is my passion. I've sought out 4 degrees. I have a background in general education, English, in special education, in curriculum and instruction, and in educational leadership, which is the administration. I do extracurricular activities, and I work a lot with the special education population. The first 13 years that I worked in special ed, I worked with in a self-contained classroom with students having severe and profound behavior and emotional disabilities. And I mean, those are the students that are, they're not the easy ones, we'll put it that way, but they're the ones that we really need to. There are populations of kids, these smaller populations of kids that have special needs, whether it be with their behavior, whether it be with a learning disability, whether it be a gender or a racial issue, and whether it just be the need to feel included. I have spent my career working in those areas, and I would bring that with me to College of Lake County. I would make myself available to students. If there was an opportunity, I would get as involved in their activities as would be appropriate. Well, I can't say as I disagree with anything. I think these are all very good ideas, and I think what I would add to that is that diversity could take many different forms. It could be improving the completion rate for minorities. It could be including populations like veterans, low-income students, ELL students, students with special needs, returning adults, single parents. I know one issue that's going to be problematic at CLC is the funding to have support and sponsorship, and faculty support and sponsorship to help all these unique populations. One thing I would like to see is using that as an opportunity to promote leadership through student leadership opportunities. You know, give them the support and the tools they need to be leaders in their communities and to further the issues. There's two concerns. There's the emotional needs, meeting the emotional needs, and then there's also meeting the educational needs. And who is more in tune with the emotional needs and the educational needs than that specific population? And what are we trying to do with our students? We are trying to move them from, well, depending on the age, because we do have older students in community colleges, but we want to facilitate leadership. And I think this, putting the students in those roles will serve a couple of needs. It'll serve the needs of those populations, and it'll also help with some of the financial constraints that we're going to be facing in the future. Well, I think the first thing I would do would be to discuss with the board what are the criteria, what is it that is important to our institution and our vision in terms of finding a new president. Things that are important to me would be transparency, a willingness to discuss the operations. Their role is to take care of the day-to-day operations of the college. And in order for the Board of Trustees to make sure that they're moving forward on projects, that they're on time, that they are getting, going through appropriate bidding processes. You want to make sure that they are forthcoming with that kind of information. And again, it's not for the Board of Trustees to micromanage that, but there should be two-way communication. And my first preference would be to look for somebody local. I think the one thing about a community college that makes it very unique is that you have that opportunity for literally K through employment alignment. If you can get somebody that meets that criteria locally, that would be my first preference. If we're not able to meet the needs that we as a board set down, then I would be open to expanding a search. Well, I'm going to agree, funding is the problem. Our country seems to have a debt problem. Our federal government is about $18.3 billion in debt. Our state government is, I think, if you include everything, including the pension issue, is about $140 billion in debt. Oh, I'm sorry, 18.3 trillion, I'm sorry, for the federal government. And the reason for that is what was called the pension, or the Edgar Ramp. In 1995, they tried to finance about $20 billion of debt at that time. And they financed it on what looks like a balloon mortgage through 2045. And we've barely even hit that upslope. And we're already talking about consolidation. That's like a Band-Aid that you're trying to put on a floodgate that's about to burst open. To give you just an idea here, FTEs are down at CLC by about 1,447 employees from 2012 to 2016. We have a state government that can't seem to agree on a budget. And community colleges have been hit the hardest because of that. CLC, where was it? Their unrestricted state-based operating grant was budgeted at $8.1 million in 2016. They received 27% of that, which reduced what they had budgeted from $8.1 million down to $2.18. So a loss of $6 million that they had to figure out how to manage. So we are looking at some very difficult times coming up, and what I'm more than willing to do, and I'm going to do this regardless because I'm an educator and I care a great deal about the future of education, of public education, and accessibility to all kids and adults. I plan on going to Springfield and lobbying. I plan on holding our legislators accountable for the decisions that they're making. In Illinois, we have a flat tax rate. If we really want to fix this problem, they need to refinance that debt, and they need to use a graduated income tax. Now, I obviously, from the local school board level, I have no control over that, but I sure can lobby for it. And I would be willing to go all the way to DC and demand that we start prioritizing. And you know, if you really want to mess up a country, you mess up its educational system. Sure. And we're doing it. And we need to wake up, and we need to start addressing these issues. And to give you another idea of inequity. So this is according to the Wall Street Journal, and it also was, another source is the JP Morgan Asset Management. The average family income, excluding capital gains, the bottom 90%, the average salary is about $30,439. That's 90%. That's down 10.7% from 2002 to 2012. Down 10%. The bottom 90% of our population. The next income bracket is about $131,000. And that's down, or that's barely staying above CPI, Consumer Price Index. They're about the same as they've been for the last 10 years. But then if you look at our top 0.01%, that's about $2 million. Well, $3 million if you round it. They're up by 29%. And then the top 0.01%, that's $21.5 million. They're up 76.2%. That is morally wrong. And I would be very willing to lobby for that. On the good side, though, on a good note, one of the things that College of Lake County is implementing is the College of Lake County program. I've been involved in my district with the Harbor Promise program, and that does help fund if students meet certain requirements like attendance, community service, grade point average. They are eligible for up to 2 years of funded community college tuition. 80% of that is funded by the federal government and 20% by the state. So no property taxes. So that at least is a good note to end on. And I think I'm a good fit at College of Lake County because I've had that experience. I've done a lot in terms of communicating with feeder districts and course alignment. It also offers dual credit courses, which a lot of parents have been asking me about. I actually love that question because I think that's sorely missing in our country. I mean, I think how many people, this country used to be so community oriented. You knew your neighbors. You know, nowadays you don't. Even in a high school, they don't all know each other. It's not like that small town feeling anymore. There seems to be this me attitude, you know, and I think we need to push our kids out of that. It's not just about what they can do to get ahead for themselves. It's about what they can do for each other. You know, we are all in this together, and this is our Lake County community, and this is, you know, a local community college, and many of these people will probably continue living in Lake County. What do they want? What do they want in their future? What do they want that to look like? How can they get involved in doing some of that now? How can we start expanding, you know, their vision beyond right here, right now, and about me? You know, how can we get them to look into, you know, this is kind of a place that I might want to stay. This is a place that I might want to raise my children. You know, this is kind of what I want my children's future to look like too. You know, they need to start thinking about some of these things. And I think it's possible to do, you know, especially at a community college. A community college has so many opportunities that no other college has. You don't have that opportunity to, you know, dig all the way down to kindergarten and be involved in, you know, raising these students, you know, from the ground up. You know, and I think we need to get them involved in that process and them involved in their communities and making those decisions about how they want to move forward. So I also agree with all those ideas. Kids love social media, they love, you know, technology, but I would want to expand their vision beyond, you know, right now.